In Iceland, the wind hums softly across the moss-covered lava fields, and silence lives in the spaces between mountains. It is a land of extremes, of fire and ice, of midnight sun and polar night, but beneath the surface, beyond the glaciers and geysers, there is something more subtle, something deeper. This is a journey into the heart of Iceland, not just its landscapes, but its people, their food, their beliefs, their customs, and the quiet power of their spirit. In our last video, we explored the dramatic natural wonders of this island, the crashing waterfalls, the glowing skies, the ancient volcanoes still rumbling beneath the earth. But now we step inward, into the life lived behind the scenery. Let us begin with culture, because in Iceland, culture has always been a matter of survival. For generations, the people of this island lived in isolation, surrounded by cold seas, long winters, and unpredictable weather. That isolation forged a mindset, calm, resilient, and close-knit. Neighbors were more than neighbors, they were lifelines. Community meant everything, and from that need grew a society that values simplicity, honesty, and mutual respect. The Icelandic language itself is a window into this spirit, preserved almost perfectly from the time of the Vikings. It allows modern Icelanders to read ancient sagas in their original form. These sagas, full of courage, betrayal, magic, and hardship, are not just stories, they are memory. They shape the nation's view of nature, of justice, of fate. Today, that spirit of storytelling continues, not just in books, but in conversation, in music, in art. Tradition here is not preserved in museums, it lives in the everyday. Now let's turn to the food, because in Iceland, food is more than nourishment, it's a reflection of the land itself. The Icelandic table tells the story of a people who made the most of what little they had. Hakal, fermented shark, might seem shocking, but it's a product of necessity, preserved through ancient techniques, a relic of a time when nothing could go to waste. There's rugbroth, sweet, dense rye bread, slow-baked underground using geothermal heat, a tradition born from volcanic energy. Skyr, smooth, tangy, and creamy, has been a staple for over 1,000 years, somewhere between yogurt and cheese, but entirely Icelandic. Seafood is fresh and pure, Arctic char, cod, haddock, pulled directly from icy waters. Lambs raised freely on wild mountain herbs produce meat known for its delicate flavor and ethical care. And thanks to Iceland's innovation with geothermal energy, vegetables, fruits, even bananas, now grow in greenhouses powered by the earth. But beyond ingredients, it's the rituals that give meaning. Kafetimi, coffee time, is a cherished tradition, a pause in the day when friends or family gather with strong coffee and cake, not for speed, but for stillness. Now let's talk about belief, because in Iceland, spirituality walks quietly beside the people. When Norse settlers first arrived, they brought their gods with them, Odin, Thor, Freyja, and a deep respect for the land. Their faith was shaped by nature, wild, unpredictable, sacred. But around the year 1000, Iceland made an extraordinary decision to adopt Christianity not through conquest, but by consensus. It remains one of the few peaceful religious conversions in history. For centuries, the Lutheran Church guided daily life. Its presence still felt in small chapels across the land. Today, Icelanders are still largely registered with the national church, but most are not devout in the traditional sense. Religion here is quiet, personal, reflective. Many still believe in the Huldufolk, the hidden people. Elves, spirits, protectors of nature. Roads have been rerouted to avoid disturbing rocks said to be their homes. There's also a Satru, a modern revival of Old Norse belief. It's not about worshipping thunder gods, but about honoring the rhythms of the earth, the seasons, the stories. In Iceland, belief doesn't shout, it listens. It honors the invisible, the untouchable, the felt. And now, the people themselves. Icelanders are calm, not passive, but balanced. There is a steadiness in how they speak, in how they carry themselves. They don't rush, and they rarely complain. There's a common phrase here, theta redust. It means it will all work out, and they believe it, not as wishful thinking, but as a truth born from centuries of surviving against the odds. This quiet strength is matched by creativity. Iceland produces more writers, musicians, and artists per capita than almost any country in the world. From a young age, children are surrounded by stories, by music, by poetry. Creativity is not a luxury, it is part of life. In a land where winter brings long, dark days, the soul needs light, and Icelanders make it. You see it in their music, haunting, layered, otherworldly. You feel it in their literature, which carries the voice of the past into the present. You see it in their films, in their paintings, in their public art. But more than anything, Icelanders trust each other. This is one of the most peaceful, equal societies on Earth. Crime is low, corruption is rare, people leave babies in prams outside cafes, not because they are careless, but because they feel safe. Respect is not demanded here, it is simply lived. Now, let's pause for tradition. Even in modern life, Icelanders hold onto celebrations that carry the old soul of the island. In January, during the harshest part of winter, families come together for Thorrablot, a feast of old, preserved foods and old, enduring songs. It's part history, part humor, part reminder of how far they've come. In December, children don't look for one Santa Claus, but 13 Yule lads, playful, mischievous mountain brothers who bring gifts or potatoes depending on a child's behavior. And every June, National Day fills the streets with joy, music, and quiet shared pride. Icelanders don't celebrate loudly, they celebrate fully. In the end, Iceland is not just a land of fire and ice. It is a land of stillness, of reflection, of strength that doesn't need to roar. Inside Iceland is not what you see, but what you feel. A country where the culture runs deep, the food connects past to present, belief is woven into the wind, and the people live not fast, but full. And in our next video, we'll give you a traveler's guide to Iceland, what to expect, what things cost, how to stay safe, and what not to do if you want to show respect. But for now, remember this: in Iceland, even silence tells a story.